Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of our board of directors, I would like to thank you for attending the Arizona Recycling Coalition's annual member meeting. My name is Todd Blair. I'm the interim chair, and I would like to welcome all of you, and I call this meeting to order. So before we begin, please allow me to address a few housekeeping items. Please put yourself on mute when you're not speaking to mitigate any potential background noise and unintended interruptions. And as we move through topics, you may ask questions. So please indicate that you have a question in the chat or raise your hand, a little hand icon. And you can either type your question in the chat field or you'll be given the floor to ask your question directly. The chat section is being monitored, and please note that this meeting is being recorded. So we're pleased to provide today's report to you. And as we get to today's business, I would like to take a moment to thank you, all of our dedicated members. Thank you for being a part of this organization. I certainly appreciate it. So our organization has a mission to do the right thing for the community, and that's ensuring education around sustainable material management practices are in place. And for those who want to do the right thing by recycling, that they have those resources available to them. And so we are dedicated to promoting waste reduction, reuse, and recycling efforts through education, outreach, network, and strong partnerships. So this past year looked a little bit different than years past, as is with most things. And not unlike most, we were certainly faced with some challenges as we continue to learn how to navigate through effectively through virtual platforms. However, we did this to allow members to have more flexibility and to attend during times when social distancing was recommended. So we were also able to manage through some significant organizational changes. We shared and shifted roles and responsibilities, and this was all to ensure consistent effectiveness within the organization. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get deeper into the meeting. So in times like these, it's important that we continue to strengthen as a coalition and to promote reduction, reuse, and recycling in Arizona. There you see today's agenda, and it will be conducted on a running schedule. The times are estimated. We want to make sure that we provide flexibility for questions and discussion if necessary. As items are concluded, again, you'll have an opportunity to ask a question, and we can certainly have discussions on those topics as needed. So I would like to first recognize and thank the 2021 board members for outstanding service this year. Let me address the agenda. Sorry about that, Jessica. So obviously welcome and recap, and then we will talk about our grants and scholarships awards. From there, we will move to policy subcommittee updates, and then we'll talk about a year-end financial update. We'll have board nominations and elections, and then we will close from there. And we can have some networking as well if there's time permitted. So again, I would like to recognize and thank the 2021 board members for outstanding service this past year. As mentioned, we did face some challenges, and certainly this is a dedicated team of professionals, which I'm honored to call each one of them a friend and to have worked alongside this past year. So our vice chair was served by Rose King of Glass King. Our secretary, Karen Jane of Stardust Building. Our treasurer, Clark Landrum of Waste Management. Our affiliations and membership chair was Jessica Yates of the City of Phoenix. Grants and scholarships, Ariel LeBarron, City of Phoenix. Our past chair, Dylan Lenzen. Our policy chair is Aaron Murphy from ASU. And media was by Rebeca Borquez, City of Peoria. So let me give you a general overview of the Arizona Recycling Coalition for those of you who might be new to membership. We are a nonprofit organization, 501c3. We were established in 1993. And we are just professionals and citizens pledged to promote recycling efforts in private, public, and nonprofit sectors throughout Arizona. The AzRC provides leadership on waste reduction through education and membership involvement. So throughout the year, we hold member meetings, events, and an annual conference. And we also award grants and scholarships, as we mentioned a little bit ago. And we will discuss more of the 2021 results on this as we move forward. As a reminder, we greatly appreciate member feedback, and we're always looking for new ways to engage with members. and expand the reach of the AzRC network. More membership, the greater the impact that we can have on our community. So please make sure that you're reaching out to us in any way possible, and we certainly want to make sure we're doing the same. The AzRC Board of Directors is a team of 9, and all come from different backgrounds with different perspectives of making decisions on behalf of the AzRC. And today we will be voting for board seats, and there are 6 vacancies. Myself, Clark Landrum, Ariel LeBarron, Dylan Lenzen, Rebeca Borquez, and Rose. Our terms are ending to 2-year commitment. So we currently have 82 active members in this organization. So now I'll take a minute to give you a year in review. Do we talk about the sponsors? I recognize our sponsors, our 3 outstanding sponsors: Waste Management, Strategic Materials, otherwise known as SMI, and Keep Phoenix Beautiful. We appreciate all of their support. And if there are ways that you would like to support the AzRC, please let us know. This allows us to have successful events and engagements. So 2021 year in review. We had our annual meeting and elections last year, February 11th. And we also did a member survey, which you'll hear the results of. It was important to this new board that we were communicating and collaborating with the membership, so it becomes a full participation. So we reached out and did a member survey, and we'll talk about the results of that. We had a member meeting and glass event. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And that was a successful, our first hybrid event. We were in person and virtual. We submitted a member newsletter in September, and we had our annual conference again. We'll overview that here in just a few moments as well. I think that as the reviews came in, it was determined as widely successful, and we'll just leave it at that for now. So our member meeting glass event that we held, it was quite an event. It was, again, we have been working through new territories and conducting these events given our current environment, and we were able to have this event virtual and in person. It was held in partnership with Strategic Materials, Glass King, Glass Packaging Institute, the Glass Recycling Foundation, Crescent Crown, Constellation Brands. It was a very good event. We learned about local glass economies and the process behind glass recycling. The video is on YouTube, so if you haven't had a chance to watch it, you can find it there. During this event, we learned that Strategic Materials processes roughly 4,000 tons of glass each month here in Arizona, and recycled bottles are back on the shelf in less than 30 days. It's pretty amazing. A big thanks to our event sponsors and all the members who were able to attend this in person and virtually. There were 66 people that attended this event, and there have been 78 people that have seen this on YouTube since. So encourage you to go check that out if you're interested. The Don't Trash Glass campaign began in Chicago and is now being actively promoted in Arizona. And we received media attention as this was widely posted on various social media sites. It was written about in the Arizona Republic. So it was a way to really educate and highlight a lot of what we can do locally and nationally in glass recovery. ASU students have used the video from our event to educate about glass recycling as they move forward in that endeavor as well. And there was a $20,000 donation that was awarded from Crescent Crown and Constellation Brands to the Glass Packaging Institute at our event to support the Don't Trash Glass campaign. So again, widely successful event. It was hybrid, a lot of education that went from that. I think we highlighted also a lot of the different opportunities that are available in the glass recovery effort. Certainly something I think that we will highlight again as we continue throughout this next year, as far as how we can help promote and implement some of these programs in place to try to recover the glass. Next, we had our annual conference. The 2021 annual conference was also a great success. There were 55 people that attended. It was our theme was sustainable material management, and we had a wide range of people that spoke to this event. And you can see the list there. This also is on our YouTube channel. So if you didn't have a chance to attend this one, please feel free to go back and take a look at that as well. There's a lot of information on this one. We had Gary List from the National Recycling Coalition talked about a lot of the things that they're doing from different events throughout the country, participation legislatively, how they're encouraging the same goals that we have and how we can partner with them. There's certainly a lot that we have planned to do with them going forward. Damon Carson from Purpose Materials. That's a very interesting one. If you're not familiar with that organization, I would encourage you to kind of look them up with some of the very interesting things that they do. They certainly find the ingenuity is kind of amazing in how they find different ways to repurpose different materials that otherwise would land up in the landfills. Tyler Egler from Arizona State. It's very interesting in some of the things that they do, and that's also something I think that we should be able to highlight as we move forward, as far as finding ways to the small volume recovery, more local impact strategically. And I think it's a great thing that they do. JB Shaw, ADEQ, and I won't go through the rest of the list. You can see them there. We gave opportunities for different people to speak as far as the different programs that they have. And that's kind of the point of what we wanted to do with this conference is we wanted to highlight different ways that we can find opportunities to recover material, be responsible about that waste management, but also learn what other people are doing within our communities so we can make sure that we're sharing that information to expand those opportunities. So it was a great program. Again, I would encourage you to go look at that on our YouTube page. And if you have any questions about any of that material or contacts, and you want to get more information, please reach out to AzRC. We can certainly pass that along to you. So with that, let me transition to Jessica so she can speak to the annual member survey and the mission statement.
All right, thanks, Todd. So back in about April of 2021, we did a member survey with the goal to identify kind of the interest of membership. So whether that's recycling outreach, education, general interest in recycling, but also various topics as well. So you can see based on that survey, these are the areas that members showed the most interest. With that being said, we tried our best to integrate this with our events and our conferences and just in general with how we conducted business and knowing that this is preference of the members. So there were 38 people that responded to this survey. There was 32 questions. And then with the questions that had a scoring from 1 to 5, on average, we scored about a 3.65. From this survey as well, there was 2 kind of areas of opportunity, with the lowest scoring being technical and training assistance, and then also use of media to promote awareness. So those were just some high level results of that survey, but this is something we would like to adopt moving forward, just to ensure that you were continuing to utilize your feedback when we integrate it into the things that we do. So. And then next slide. So one of the questions that the survey spoke to was mission and vision. And the question was the mission clearly defined? So each of the individual board of directors was tasked with providing their perspective on what they felt the mission and just who we are in general. And so everybody, collectively put forward their responses. And with that, we revised both the mission and the about us. The mission was adopted, the new mission was adopted August 2nd, and the About Us section was adopted September 13th. The board felt unanimously by refreshing these areas, it could reaffirm our mission and remember that, especially in current times, why AzRC is important and impactful, especially knowing that we're actually coming on our 30th year of being an organization. So this upcoming 2022 will be the 30th year of the nonprofit. So. And then with that, I'll turn it to Ariel.
Thank you, Jessica. So this year we have looked at our grants and scholarships and decided that we wanted to extend that out so that more members of the community had opportunities to apply. So what we're hoping for in 2022 is to open up the call for submissions in July and have those grants and scholarships submitted to us by November, just to give an opportunity. And in addition to some of the work that we've done this year is we've become a member of the Arizona Community Foundation, and they are a large group. I think they're a large group of nonprofits and other organizations that work together. And within that organization, they have scholarship opportunities. So our intent is to expand our reach for the community and work with them. And we will talk more about that new partnership later on. And then, so for this 2021 Scholarship Award, I wanted to briefly introduce Angela Fox. As a past AzRC Scholarship Award recipient, I felt that for me, it was really important through my studies, and I think Angela can attest to this as well. This is, she's been awarded the scholarship 2 times, last year and this year. So if I will introduce her, and she'll take a moment to introduce herself and highlight some of the projects and work that she's doing. Angela?
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you so much for not only the scholarships, but having me here today. It's been a huge honor, and it has absolutely helped me in my studies and the projects that I'd like to do in the future. So I really greatly appreciate the 2 scholarship awards that I've received. The most exciting thing I think for this scholarship award is that it's allowing me the opportunity to travel to Malmo, Sweden in May to attend the Sustainable Worlds Conference for local governments. And so local governments from around the world attend this conference to learn best practices and learn how to be better cities and more sustainable, more socially just. So I'm really looking forward to having my first trip to Europe as well. So all in all, it would not be possible without this scholarship. I'm a second-year master's student. As you can see, I'm a bit older than most master's students. I've been in recycling for about 10 years now in sustainability. So this has just been a huge honor. So thank you.
Wonderful. And thank you, Angela, for attending. And we're so excited to hear more about your future endeavors. And then we'll move over to...
I'm a new member, so thank you.
And then we'll move over to our 2 grant recipients for this year. The first, I will introduce Mr. Wilson with the Mesquite Recycle Club. And he can talk about some of the projects that they're working on and some of the money that they'll use with this grant award. Mr. Wilson, are you with us?
I am. Good morning. So I have a recycling program we run at the school. In fact, I'm in school right now. My class is state testing. And we have 8 100-gallon bins in our parking lot for the city to recycle because Casa Grande no longer recycles. So we are the go-to recycling center. Our volume is so large that I have a guy at the recycling center come to us. He came yesterday and picked up 1,000 pounds of aluminum and plastic combined. Well, through another grant, we have a 3D printer and we got an extruder. Well, we need a grinder to grind it up because we want to make our own 3D filaments out of Tide bottles and cheer bottles and grind number 2 plastic. The money used from this grant is going to go to a new grinder, which is about $1,600, and that'll help us get started. And then the other part, I want to build more bins at Palm Creek. It's an RV resort here in Casa Grande. And we have 2 bins currently working, and we get 100 pounds a week of number one plastic. So if we can add 2, 4, even 6 more bins, that would triple what we have in plastic and add to our numbers. And we are averaging about 50 pounds of aluminum cans and or plastic every day. We also save 10 cans, and every 2 weeks we go through about 200 pounds of that. And my goal is to get my 5th graders to recycle. They will bring in the recycling, and I try to get them to share to help our earth and help our community. And I have about a dozen volunteers that will help me sort through all of our recycling that we go through every week. How's that?
Incredible. Thank you so much for giving us an overview and for attending despite the state testing. We're grateful to have you here. And then our second grant recipient, we're from the Pine Top Lakeside group. So I will introduce Melina, I think it's Melina, and I'm sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly, and Marcus from the town of Pine Top Lakeside to briefly talk about your project.
So what we have here is a drop-off facility only. We recycle glass, plastic, cardboard, paper, aluminum cans, tin cans. With the grant, we're going to use it to buy postcards that we send out a mailer at the end of March, and then we buy more with brochures that we give out to the people around here around town. But yeah, that's it.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for the brief introduction, and we appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you.
And I will pass it over to Aaron to give an update on the policy and subcommittee.
Hi, everyone. I'm doing the video too, so I'm taking a second to turn on my camera. But it's a pleasure to talk to you all today. So I'm the policy chair for the Arizona Recycling Coalition, and this is actually the policy committee is a new committee that launched at the end of 2020. So we've done a lot this year, but I just wanted to kind of introduce you to the the policy committee. We developed our mission this year. So we have here AzRC is a leader in education on waste management policy in Arizona and a resource to municipalities, state legislators, and other stakeholders in understanding the risks and opportunities associated with waste management policy across scales of government. And as we started digging into the policy space, we found that there really isn't a cohesive group working on policy in Arizona. And so our focus isn't necessarily on advocating, but it is on educating you all as stakeholders on what policies are coming, what bills are being introduced, what policies are coming forward, and how that will affect your businesses or your nonprofits, or you just as citizens of the state. And so we have a list here of our 7 efforts that we want to focus on as we move forward. It's identifying, like I said, the bills and regulations across scales of government, with a particular focus on state level policy at this point. Reviewing how those bills will affect the sector, developing educational materials, and reviewing materials produced in other places, such as Colorado, policies that are in Colorado, for instance, or California. Creating general policy stances on just a broad scale, so not necessarily advocating for specific bills, but saying what sorts of policy changes we'd like to see Arizona generally take, and connecting you, our members, with policymakers if you're ever interested. And so if that is something that's of interest to you, reach out to me directly. We are working with a lot of staffers and legislators to just stay up to date on what bills are being introduced. So if there's something that you see that you think will particularly impact your business or impact your city, you're welcome to reach out to me. And then to just determine the future advocacy efforts of the AzRC. Like I said, this is a new space, but the National Recycling Coalition does do a lot of advocacy work. And so we're exploring how we want to see our organization participate in the policy side moving forward. These meetings are held on the second Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. So, and they're open to any member. So you're definitely welcome to attend. It's not necessary. You don't necessarily have to regularly attend to come and participate and just see what we're talking about. To give you a little overview of what we've done so far. So in 2021, we actually had an intern join us from Basis High School in Scottsdale, and she did an analysis of Arizona Revised Statute 9-538, which is colloquially known as the ban on bans, but this is the prohibition on regulations for auxiliary containers. She met with many stakeholders, including many members of AzRC, legislators, and did a literature review to learn about just the impacts of these preempted policies. And so we'll be putting that on our website soon. We're just kind of editing it. We also followed the 2021 legislative session. There is several waste related bills that were introduced. Some of them were passed. And we joined the Arizona Forward Waste and Circular Economy Committee I participated in that, and Karen Jane did as well, who's also a member of our board. And this was thinking about what our sustainability roadmap for the state of Arizona will look like moving forward. So providing feedback on that and how policy can play an important role in that. And finally, we launched our website. So feel free to go to arizonarecyclingcoalition.org/policy. You'll see in there some summaries of a few of the key laws that are already in place in Arizona that affect recycling. And we'll continue to update it with new bills that are being introduced for this 2022 legislative cycle. So moving forward, at least for the next 6 months, we'll really be tracking bills and providing opportunities to comment on them. Already, the Senate bill, so SB just stands for Senate Bill 1103 is actually been introduced by Juan Mendez, who's the senator from the Tempe area, and it's a repealer on the auxiliary container law, and it also includes a levy, a statewide levy on plastic bags when they're offered. So this is something that you may want to look into. And I'm actually going to stop sharing. So bear with me. I'm going to stop sharing this screen for a second because I want to just take this time to give you an opportunity to see how, as members, you can comment on bills in the AZ legislature on behalf of your organization, on behalf of yourself as a citizen. So I'm just going to share my screen here. Do you guys see what I'm looking at here? So this is the Arizona legislative website. If you click bills, you can go and look for bill info. This is the page that I'm on now. And you can search different topics of interest. So, you know, I can search polystyrene to see if there's any sort of bill that's been introduced this session on polystyrene. As you'll see, there is. It's somebody introduced a bill that would be a statewide ban on polystyrene foam. So say that's something that's of interest to you, you want to comment for or against that bill, you have the capacity to do that. So you can go here and if you click request to speak, any citizen can speak on any bill, speak to a committee about it, or just provide a comment on that. So you can create an account if you don't already have an account. I do, so I'm just going to sign on. And if this is something that's of interest to you, please reach out to me and I can show you more about that in the future. So you can do a request to speak and search to see if that bill is already, so you can see here, I have a person, this is me, not Arizona Recycling Coalition. I've put in a position on the repeal of the ban on auxiliary containers bill. You can come here and add a bill position. So if I wanted to put a bill position on that styrofoam bill, I could do so by typing the bill number and then putting my stance in for, against, or neutral. And you can also go here and give a request to speak. So you can check if that bill is being on any agendas. Right now, it's not on any active agendas, but if it was, then you could request to speak in those sessions on any given bill. You know, at this point, we don't think that we can necessarily advocate as an organization as a whole. We don't necessarily all have the same stance on every bill that's going to be introduced, and we don't want to misrepresent people. But what is really important is that legislators hear from experts in the field, and you guys are experts in the field. Not a lot of people are talking to them about waste management bills. Once we kind of opened the door to this, I started receiving a lot of emails from legislators like, this bill just came up. I don't know. I don't even know what waste to energy or pyrolysis is. Can you give me some background? Things like that. So we really just encourage you to use us and view us as a resource if you want to become more involved in advocacy on behalf of your organizations. Now I'm going to pass it along to Clark.
Hey, thank you, Aaron. And before we start, Ariel, what time do you have?
11:33.
Okay, and has Terry asked a question or commented on anything?
You know what? I lost the bet.
Okay.
He has not.
Todd, I owe you lunch. But no, seriously, thanks for being on, Terry. But hey, my name's Clark Landrum. I'm the treasurer. I'll go over in financial update. And as you can see on the screen there, our overall account is in good health. Once again, checking at 33,169. We have 135,000 and some change in our savings. Our year-end P&L, we ended down 24,836.80 for 21. And that was mainly due to, we did 2 scholarships and grant winners in 21. So we had the fall ones that we paid out, as well as the early ones in January of 21. So that kind of encompasses that number. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the grants from some of our partners in the past due to COVID. As we all know, that kind of put a wrench in a lot of the activities in person and so forth. So hopefully we can get back into that, whatever that normal looks like in the years to come. So high level, here's the balance sheet that I just explained. Once again, that lays out our assets and liabilities for the year and how that's broken out. So you're more than happy to reach out to me if you'd like to see a more detailed line items on these accounts. Go ahead and change. So P&L, here is kind of a snapshot I put together. I think it's important to see where our expenses come from, as well as our income. In 21, 70% of our expenses were paid out to the grants awarded by AzRC. And then the rest of that percentages is made up of really through postage and handling, dues and subscriptions we have, as well as conferences via non-conference or our annual meetings encompasses the rest of the dollars that we spend. Our income, mainly in 21, comes from membership dues, and that's why I certainly thank everyone on this call for the continued support of AzRC. We wouldn't be here without you all. So in 21, that encompassed 60% of our membership, and then I did have subsequent grants that I reached out on behalf of AzRC that we picked up through Amazon Smile and through other various American Express comes to mind as well. So various others entities that support the AzRC Foundation as well. Go ahead and flip it over. So in 21, the board, we looked at our savings account that I mentioned earlier, and that monies in that savings has been sitting dormant for so I've been on the board 6 years, so over I want to say 10 years. We haven't really done anything with it. So we looked at an opportunity to have those monies grow, certainly quicker than it is in just your traditional savings account. So we partnered with the Arizona Community Foundation, and we looked at moving $100,000 out of savings into this socially responsible pool. It is capital growth, long-term, through funding. It is per se, via liquid, so we can pull that out if needed in emergency. But after the board vetted through that, we decided that it was the best opportunity to grow our funds for future use and make sure that the AzRC Foundation will be around for a long time. So stewards of our money, as we say, and certainly appreciative of having that opportunity to work with the ACF, which does support other nonprofits throughout the state. So excited to pull our money in that, and hopefully our investments long-term will certainly work out, and we can use those monies to give back into our sustainability efforts throughout Arizona. I'm going to flip the next one. And now we come to the Board of Directors election. So I'll flip that over to, looks like Karen.
Terrific, thanks, Clark. Exciting now to go into our elections for our 2022 Board of Directors. As Todd mentioned, we have 6 seats open, and we have 7 nominees. The process is pretty straightforward. Each nominee will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves and talk about their qualifications and why they're interested in being on the board. And then we will share a poll for members to vote. And members need to vote for up to 6 individuals. And then Aaron will compile the results and we'll announce the results once those are compiled. Erin, anything I missed on the process side of this?
The only thing I'll add is as you present, so you each will have 2 minutes. What I'm gonna do is, and my name is Arizona Recycling Coalition here, is I'm just gonna raise my hand when you have 15 seconds left. So you'll see that little, if you kind of open your view so you can make sure that you can see my box, you'll see my hand go up, and that will be a signal to you that you have 15 seconds left. And then after like 2 minutes and 10 seconds, we'll say, then I'll just unmute and make sure that you're aware that you're at time. So does that sound good to everyone? I'll assume silence means yes.
Sounds good. Thank you, Erin. If you want to flip to the next slide, we'll share all 7 of the nominees. Todd Blair, Rebeca Borquez, Terry Gellenbeck, Ariel LeBarron, Cristina Polsgrove, Jake Swanson, and Alexis Yaple. And this is the order we're going to go in. So we're going to start with Todd Blair. Todd, take it away.
Since we're about 40 minutes ahead of schedule, does that mean I get like 38? Or do I have to wait for Terry to take up some of that time? So thank you very much, everyone, again, for being here. My name is Todd Blair, and I've been honored to serve on this board. I've served 1 term. In that time frame, I've been the affiliations chair. I was on membership briefly, and due to leadership change, was graciously given the interim chair tag, which I've served for, I think, the last 6 months. I'm running again because I think there's a lot of open business that we started that I would like to have the opportunity to finish. We certainly had some challenges as far as I mentioned, the start onset with, discovering virtual platforms. But there certainly are some things that I had worked on as far as, making sure that we're all inclusive for different types of information for all of our members to reach the entire member base, depending on what aspect of the industry that you're in. Being a continued resource and improving those resources as far as giving you the information that you need, and certainly being able to increase more of the member meetings. Those are some of the things that I would like to complete that we kind of started working on. And I've spent 30 years in this industry, from the back of a rear loader to processing material to trading material. So I've kind of covered all aspects of this industry as far as my knowledge set, as far as in different things that we want to do. Lastly, I'll close with this. I think that we've started to also move in a direction where we're broadening the scope of the different types of material management that we can incorporate to try to help find those opportunities to continue to recover more material. So again, I want to thank everyone for the opportunity. I want to thank this board and this organization, and I hope to get your vote again and serve again. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Next up is Rebeca Borquez.
Good morning. I'm happy to see you all at our membership meeting. My name is Rebeca Borquez, and I have been in the solid waste industry in waste reduction for the last 27 years with the city of Peoria. What I can offer to AzRC is my many years of working in this industry and being part of the evolution of recycling, from the change of drop-off locations to a single stream processes, from adjusting to the impact of China's ring fence and national sword to a pandemic. While a board member of AzRC, some of my proud accomplishments have been leading the team and coordinating our in-person conference at the Radisson Hotel Conference Center in Glendale, and being part of the team to increase our membership, which we were very successful in achieving the highest number of diverse membership in the history of AzRC at over 225 members. If re-elected, I hope to again work on increasing our membership and do whatever I can to promote AzRC as a one-stop recycling and sustainability resource for the private and public sector. Thank you, and I would be honored to continue representing you as a board member of the Arizona Recycling Coalition. Thanks.
Thank you, Becky. Next up is Terry Gellenbeck.
Thank you, Karen. Can you hear me? Because I have to stand outside. I'm at a restaurant for a team building meeting here for Keep Phoenix Beautiful, of which I now work part-time. Clark, I've been having all kinds of conversations with people. So Ariel, you did win the bet. I have been in the industry since 1990. The Arizona Recycling Coalition, the city of Phoenix, have been part of that from the beginning. We were on the National Recycling Coalition board. That was the light rail that just went through. So I am putting my name back out there. I had talked to Jessica at the time, and I see that you have very capable people here, but I'm willing to put my name out there because I'm the one with the smile on, because I'm retired and I have the time to do things that a lot of you don't. And I agree with everything that was just been said about getting more people in businesses and the private sector on this board. I see it's way a lot of government people. So I'd like to do that and get them back on onto the board now. So I'm going to cut it off right there. I'm going to take the Lakeside, Pine Top Lakeside route and make it very short and sweet. Bye.
Thank you, Terry. Next up is Ariel LeBarron.
All right. Hello, everyone again. My name is Ariel, and I'm seeking re-election for another 2-year term on the Arizona Recycling Coalition board. As I said before, I've been on the board since 2019, and during my tenure, I've overseen the grants and scholarships and helped distribute over $50,000 in grants and scholarships to the community. And as a past Arizona Recycling Coalition scholarship recipient in 2014, I've spent the last 11 years studying and working in the recycling, waste reduction, and sustainability industry. I hope to use my knowledge and skills to continue working on the board to expand AzRC's reach and engagement with current and new members. And if elected, I'll continue to use the knowledge I've gained during the last 3 years on the board and hope to train new members on grants and scholarships to transition into a new role. And in my current job at the City of Phoenix as a food systems project manager, I hope to also widen the reach of AzRC as noted in our 5 topics of interest. I'm excited to continue working if reelected, and I hope that you feel the same and vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ariel. Next up is Cristina Polsgrove.
Good morning.
There you are.
Yeah, let me turn my video on. Great. Oh, I have my other group that I'm part of, the filter on. Sorry about that. I would like to submit my name for consideration because I've been in the solid waste industry now for 17 years. I'm with the City of Tucson. In that time, I started as the public information officer, and over those years, I've learned a lot, and I've been involved with everything that we as a city have done in terms of solid waste and waste diversion. And for the last 3 years, I have managed the waste diversion activities for the City of Tucson. I think it would be really important to have some representation on AzRC board from Southern Arizona. It's been a while since we've had people representing this part. And now with the focus on regional and more local options for waste diversion, I think that those connections that we will have as a board with people throughout the state are going to be really important. You know, it's been a pleasure to work on the policy committee, and I am still involved with SWANA, and I think there's opportunities there for us to spread our partnerships and connections. And so, and really it's very important for me because Tucson is in the process of developing a zero waste plan. And I always learn so much from everybody throughout the state and people from the Recycling Coalition. And so that will be beneficial to me as well. So I'm happy to throw my name in.
Thank you, Christina. Next up is Jake Swanson.
Hey there, folks. My name is Jake Swanson, and my Arizona compost and recycling experience has been more or less continuous over the last decade here in Arizona. It started with Root Phoenix classes in Phoenix, and then working in international supply chain focused on material recovery and reuse over at Project Cure, all the way to supporting local businesses and educating the public regarding sustainability at the Business Coalition Local First Arizona. With those organizations, I've facilitated zero waste coordinating for Local First, where we regularly diverted over 50% of our waste, equating to over 50,000 pounds per year. So I've literally been hands-on pulling food waste out of bags to send over to JD at Recycled City, managed volunteers, and guarded some bins, of course. I've conducted a wide range of educational events to introduce the public to recycling leaders in order to debunk myths, observe innovation solutions, and create supporters for local trailblazers like the Refuge Cafe, JB Shaw over as AZDQ, Garrett's Knowledge over with Resonate, Biochar with Nick with Considerate Cold Brew, waste stream assessments with Sue Bosch at Everest Momo, or to highlight actual hard work that JD does in the field. The compost you put in his bucket doesn't magically turn into compost. So much work goes into it. And I love to show people that work, which is part of the things that I love to bring to AzRC. I also have a deep knowledge of municipal recycling operations and have worked with Phoenix on education events. I'm a sustainability commissioner in Tempe and have worked on Scottsdale's sustainability plan. I've been an AzRC member on and off over the years, and I've attended multiple meetings across the state. I've seen it in action, and in preparation for my run for the board, I really assessed my time, my capabilities, and I reconnected with some previous AzRC board members, as well as local businesses to assess the current state of recycling and hear from them. I'd like to bring my experience and demonstrate a passion for advance recycling in all its forms in the state of Arizona with AzRC. And whenever I consider a position like this, I ask myself if I have the energy, experience, and dedication to be a value add to the organization. And I'd like to show y'all that the answer is yes. But regardless of the outcome, I'm really excited to be presence at meetings and events moving forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jake. And Alexis Yaple.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Oh, hang on one second. My phone is ringing. Hi, everybody. So I'm Alexis Yaple. I have 7 years of experience in sustainability, with 6 of those years specifically in the zero waste and recycling sector. I have a degree in sustainability from ASU, and I'm currently a zero waste coordinator in the City of Phoenix Public Works Department. I've been with the city and on the zero waste team for 5 years. I actually just hit my 5-year anniversary last month, which is pretty exciting. And I first started as a zero waste specialist, and now as coordinator, I oversee the team. But during my time here, I've coordinated and planned special events. I've started new programs. My daily duties include overseeing contracts, writing grant proposals, education outreach, research, you name it, I've probably done it. But many of these skills will be helpful as a board member at AzRC. And I've been a member of AzRC since 2017. I've learned a lot from this organization and have made a lot of really great connections over the past 5 years. So if elected to the board, I would hope to continue the great work from this organization to current and future members. I would like to assist the organization in creating more regional and statewide partnerships, both with the municipalities and the private haulers, to encourage standardized marketing efforts and to find collaborative solutions to common waste challenges. So thank you for your time, and I really appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, Alexis. And thank you to all 7 of the nominees. We appreciate your thoughtful approach to this process. So now it's time to vote. Aaron will be launching the poll. Please vote for up to 6 people. And once the voting's complete, we'll compile and announce the winners. So while the voting process and compilation is going on, we want to, I don't know if Aaron, you can move to the next slide while you're compiling. We just wanted to chat with you a little bit about what's going to happen in 2022. Following the elections, the 2022 board will convene to determine the upcoming schedule. But you can expect certainly member meetings, special events, an annual conference, policy committee meetings will continue, newsletters and industry updates. And we'd certainly, as a board, welcome any ideas and thoughts on other activities that you'd like to see AzRC have over the course of 2022. And as Jessica mentioned, I believe we're going to celebrate our 30th anniversary, which is really a wonderful milestone. Aaron, can you switch me to the next one? We also really wanted to thank the retiring board members, which are Clark and Dylan, for their years of service to the organization. They've been instrumental in so much work that I'm not sure we can even list it all, but really terrific. Dylan has moved out of state, so he's not really probably aware that we're recognizing him today, but thank you, Clark, for all your contributions to the organization. And we know that you'll continue to remain a friend of AzRC. And to Ariel, Todd, and Becky, who are up for re-election, but we thank them for the last 2 years of work, as it's been instrumental in moving the organization forward. And we're still kind of waiting for the final vote results. I don't know if anyone had any questions from any of the information throughout the meeting. You're welcome to unmute and share, and we'll see if I can answer them or someone else can, or if Todd can put some filler into this, because I'm not terribly good at stand-up comedy or even sit-down comedy or Zoom comedy.
Hey, Karen, this is Clark. Hey, I'll just add a few things. And
Thank you.
You know, over my years of being involved in AzRC, I guess my guidance or suggestion would be get involved in. We appreciate all the members, and we've seen so much growth and activity throughout the state. You know, it's very exciting. And as we all come together for a common cause and you know, bring the inclusion and diversity that we all have together and really, you know, work on meeting these objectives. It's very exciting times. And you know, that's kind of my 2 cents for the AzRC is, you know, continue with promoting throughout the state and bringing you know, like members and like thinking people together. And certainly, you know, we'll be great stewards for the state and for future years to come.
And if I may just recognize Clark and his service briefly, he's been instrumental in helping us receive many funds from waste management and other sources to make AzRC as successful as we've been, to give money back into the community and to have the amount of events that we've been able to have. He's been incredible, and just his work with as a treasurer and his knowledge is definitely going to be missed. So Clark, we greatly appreciate everything you've done for us and for helping us give back to the community.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, well, the results are in, and I am happy to introduce to you the 6 new members of the 2022 AZ Recycling Coalition Board. Todd Blair, Terry Gellenbeck, Ariel LeBarron, Cristina Polsgrove, Jake Swanson, and Alexis Yaple. Congratulations to all of you. We'd like you to hang around after the close of the meeting so that we can set up our first board meeting. And with that, I will turn it back to Todd.
Okay, congratulations, new board members. And again, another special thank you to the membership. I certainly hope that I echo what was been spoken before as well, as far as hoping to expand that opportunity and continue to serve you going forward in 2022. So Clark, thank you again. Great leadership, served this organization very, very well. Certainly have been instrumental in keeping it going. So many thanks. And certainly I'm not going to be as harsh as Terry would be, of course. So I will say the door is open anytime, my friend. Look forward to seeing you again soon. So thank you again to everyone else for attending this new board members. Please stick around. And also be paying attention to the website, and I'm sure we'll be communicating with you on the next member meeting and engagement. So thank you again for the opportunity to continue with this organization. Meeting is adjourned.